entities, energies, lovelies, bodies of light, these seekers and sojourners of truth, the 144, chosen of the chosen few. You know who you are. I greet you in the love that lights the truth from my heart to yours, this heart right here to yours. I am Celestial Earth in the divine energy essence of it all, reporting to you live from nowhere other than 5D, the fifth dimension. For those who are here with me in the place to be, stand up, stand up. If you're just now getting in, take a look around. Listen to the sound, the lights, the energy, the frequency is all turned up. Happy whatever day this is for you. I'm going to call this Planetary Alignment Day because the planets are aligning. This is the time. There's a major shift happening. There's so much going on. Honestly, when I started this, I just wanted to say it's so much. I just wanted to say there is too much, but it's never too much. But there is a lot of information in the air, in the atmosphere, in 5D, where all of the information is everywhere because we're in the age of the Aquarian. We're in the age of the knowing, right? And those who know. And those who grow, show. And there's a lot of showing going on right now. Not showing off, growing. Even now, there's something I'm seeing the light. I don't know who just saw that, but the light just flickered and the light where I'm at did nothing. But for some reason I'm seeing it in this camera and through this lens. There's a flickering. It's happened like 3 or 4 times. So the light is lighting. The information is informationing. The energy is energying, however you want to look at it. You know, I'm taking words, I'm taking the AING from my daughter. She has this thing now of saying that people are, well, I say people are peopling, but she gives them their name. Whatever your name is, she puts the ING on it. So if your name is Roger, then you're Rogering, that type of thing. So the light is lighting. Everything is happening all at once. See Marie, peace, love, and light. Greetings, greetings to you. All right, happy planetary alignment. I wanted to see if I can. It's so dark outside, but I wanted to see if I can get it. Oh, you see it. You see the light flickering, right? And it's not flickering like where I'm at. I'm looking at it because I'm in my car office right now, and the light is not moving here, but in the phone, it's flickering, right? So the energy is doing something. Energy is energying. And it's the information. It's everything. Right now, there's so much, but I'm gonna bring it in and speak to you about the avenue of receptivity, because with this planetary alignment, I don't know how many of you know, but there are 6 planets in alignment, and it doesn't mean that the planets are all like lined up, but there are 6 planets in alignment. They call it the parade. It's a whole planetary parade going on, and the ones that are a part of this parade is Venus, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, Mars, and I feel like I'm missing one. Did I miss one? Neptune, Mars, Uranus. There's 6 of them, either way. And soon to be 7 with Mercury stepping into the mix. So all of these planets, and they're all on one side of the axis, if you will. So of the 360 degrees, they're on one side of the 180 line, if you can look at it like that. They're all on one part of our solar perspective, according to where we are, um, to where the planet Earth is, right? In perspective to the sun, they are all on one side. So we can view all of them literally with your eyes, except for Uranus and Neptune. You're going to need some kind of scope, telescope to look into that and see that, right? But Venus, you can see Venus, you can see Mars, you can see Saturn, you can see Jupiter, you can see all of those, right? And soon to be Mercury in the mix. So I'm seeing this receptivity, And that was actually the word for today, is receptivity, as I actually had an interaction and an encounter with someone else. Soul, peace, love, and light. Welcome. Right. I saw, as I had an encounter with someone today, one of those from the younger generation, whom, as I've been in Jamaica, I've been looking and seeing how lost the younger generation has been, especially in the area where I am. They just are very lost. So it's very rare. And today's spirit had me speak to one, and it was very eye opening for, for the entire interaction. There were things that I was getting that I do want to share with you all, especially the 5D community, so we can know how to gauge ourselves as we're moving on with others, right? How to gauge ourselves, how to gauge our interaction with others during this time of, you know, heightened receptivity. And I say heightened because it's just really heightened right now. A lot has been, for the past month, receptivity has been the theme all the way up to this planetary parade, where the theme of this parade is still receptivity. Is one of the themes, I should say, right? Because there may be other themes as well, but numerologically, just off there being 6 planets, I'm already seeing receptivity, right? Our last full moon, I believe, was at like 24 degrees. 2 and 4 is 6. Receptivity. It's constantly being um, highlighted to us to be receptive. And the word for today was also receptivity in the encounter that I shared with that younger person. And his reciprocity, his energetic reciprocity, was being receptive. It was watching him walk down the avenue of receptivity, and in his actions, in his doing, in his character, right? So we can see, and I say this so that a lot of us really have clarity on true reciprocity, on true receptivity, so you can witness when those around you are being receptive, so you know how to give your energy, basically, because it's also something that I'm working out as well, and fine tuning within myself, of where not to waste your time, right? Where not to throw your pearls to swine. And these times are very tricky, because a lot of that negative energy wants to steal your time, and it will send those around you to mimic the frequency, to mimic the energy, and pretend as if they are with you, or that they are with the frequencies, right? It's not really so much about you, but if you are in the frequencies, then they will mimic the frequencies, right? To siphon out your light, to siphon out the truth. And so we have to be on our P's and Q's and pay attention to these cues of receptivity, these cues of within their behaviors that are showing us, okay, listen to this cue, pay attention to this cue of what it is that it means for us. What does this cue say? Right? So there's a lot of receptivity going on, and before I go any deeper into it, it's like keeps flickering, like it's reminding me like the stars that are flickering. So I want to highlight the star if I can. So I'm going to step out. You're going to move with me. I'm going to step out of my little mobile office, and let's see if I can turn. Yep, I can turn the camera around. So I'm going to get a view of the starry night, because where I am is very dark. So stick with me. I'm going to turn it around now and give you a view. I don't know how many of you can get it, but it's a very starry night. Okay, there's a star. There we go. All right, let's see if I could zoom in. There's so many stars, and the camera is not doing it justice. Orion's belt. Let me see if I could zoom. Okay, so that's Jupiter. That I can give you. That's Jupiter. And it's just a little bit below Orion's belt, which happens to be, you can't really pick it up. The camera's not picking it up and doing it justice. So my apologies, you can't see the star, but that flickering light, you're seeing that flickering light, that is a part of Orion, the constellation of Orion. So just below it, I want to say a little bit above it, actually, a little bit north to it, you'll see Jupiter. And then a little bit behind it, let me see if I can get Mars for you. All right, so that's Jupiter, that's Mars. Ooh, can I zoom in? So that's Jupiter, Mars. Saturn is a little further westward. So let me go back in the car because you don't have much view. If you can get out in the starry night, let me turn this back around. Greetings, I'm back. If you turn that around, you see it? Oh, somebody said they saw it. Okay, good. You saw some. The camera's not doing it justice. I wish you could see it as I step out, and it's a really starry night. There's many stars, so you really have to kind of know the constellations. They don't just pop out like back home when there's a lot of lights blocking us, a lot of fluorescent light. So what you just saw, if you go outside, if you can get a view of Orion's belt, you can see some of these planets without a telescope. Um, if you see Orion's belt, just look a little bit north of Orion's belt and you'll see the brightest star, because it's not really a star, it's Jupiter, but the brightest one you see a little bit north of it is going to be Jupiter. And if you look a little bit more eastward from Jupiter, you'll see a planet that looks a little reddish. It has a reddish tinge to it, and that is Mars, right? If you look further west, you will see Saturn and possibly Venus, Saturn and Venus, right? So those are the planets that you can see right now. Greetings, greetings. Who's that? Reiki. Ooh, let me send you some Reiki, right? So I'm sending you all that coming from the divine onto the earth and opening the 7 seals energy that I just sent you, right? So with that, the 6 planets that we have out, this is the receptivity that I'm seeing. And another thing that I'm seeing from this, as I said, there's 6 and there's going to be 7. So 6 into the 7. And the 6 is the receptivity. Not only do I notice that, but there is a 7 is that completion when it gets to it. And 7 is, as I even just mentioned, opening the 7 seals. 7 is that number of seals. 7 is not only the 7 seals, the 7 colors of the rainbow, the 7 chakras, aka energy centers. All of this is a part of that. Your 7 seals are actually the 7 chakras. Think about it. Opening the 7 seals equals opening your 7 chakras, aka energy centers, aka your sekemras for my Kemetic community. Right? So this 7 also points to the 7 hues of human. And so there were originally 6 called the Sanjic 6. I don't know how many of you know this. If anyone here is aware of the Urantia, go look it up. Look in the book, Urantia. I believe they have it online now, so you can literally YouTube it and get the book. And they have audio book versions of it, right? This is a powerful book for us here on earth. That's a whole nother story, so I digress. Let me not go too far into that, right? But the 6 original races are called the Sanjic 6, right? And I'm looking at the number 6 of us here. Hey, Sanjic 6. And then the violet race was added, which makes it 7. So I'm not sure where spirit is going with this, but this is what was highlighted to me when I saw the 6 to the 7. There are 6 now, there will be 7. There was 6 original races, and then 7 was the next one, which was the violet race, right? The 7th, the crown. Shay. So just sharing that information of the 6 and that receptivity that gives way to the manifestation. Okay, okay. So that 6 is the receptivity that we have before we have the 7th. The 7th being the return to completion, aka the miracle And a miracle is just a perfect outworking of the law. That's all the miracle is. It's not magical, it's mystical. It's the mystical, it's the natural mystic of our netter, of our Medu netter, our divine divinity, nature's divinity, all of that. So from the 6 to the 7, and the 7 is manifestation. So there's something coming up as we're turning. This planet is parading our receptivity, and it's parading and it's parading until the receptivity is going to open up into our manifestation. So whatever is turning over, we're going into man I fest, ions, the ions, the man that I fest in this ion, however you want to look at it. It's what we're bringing in. So when Mercury comes in, and Mercury is being the planet of communication, so communication is coming into this parade, and there's a manifestation within this communication. And I'm not just talking communicating like speaking. There is communication as in how we're exchanging energy. That is a form of communicating. The information that we're all sharing is communication. And so this is what we're manifesting. We're manifesting something new in our level of communication in our social atmosphere, remembering that our sun is in Aquarius. Our sun is in Aquarius right now, and this is helping to bring in, this is a solar conjunction, right? The conjunction is the sun in Aquarius as Pluto is in Aquarius. So Pluto is having a solar conjunction right now. And we're going to have that for the next, 19 to 20 years that Pluto is in Aquarius. And so every time it does, every time it comes around, it's like it's activating our, I want to say, Plutonian atmosphere. It's activating within the Plutonian atmosphere or aspect, our age of the Aquarian. Pluto in Aquarius, Sun in Aquarius. It's activating the age that we're in, the Aquarian age, right? To bring in, oh, we're welcome, Reiki. I know you felt that. I know you know what that is. Um, we're activating this age of the knowing. And the knowing is for us to take the knowing and show ourselves approved. It's for us to do something about what we know so that we don't fall in the shadows of the Aquarian age. We're taking that information and we're manifesting. We're being receptive first with that information. 6 to the 7. We're parading 6, and 7 will be added. We're parading receptivity. We're walking in a parade of receptivity. We're all just trumpeting, sounding alarms, but being receptive, being and when I say parading, because I know we think of noise when we parade, but I mean just moving in this parade of receptivity. We're all gathering to be receptive, whether we're physically gathering or energetically gathering, both. There is this receptivity and this avenue of receptivity that is opening. And this is what was highlighted today, um, as I had the conversation with this younger person. And I just let spirit guide me, because the flesh man just doesn't want to be bothered. But the spirit, or the higher self, the obedience to the higher self, which is again an example of receptivity. I have to be receptive to let my spirit override my flesh, right? And this is a practice that we must do. We must partake in as 5D pioneers, as 5D light warriors, age of the Aquarian new earth light warriors that are all turning over. We must practice spirit over flesh. We must practice obedience to the spirit in care of the flesh. It's not to neglect our flesh. It's not to disregard our flesh, but it is to know your place. The flesh must know its place, right? Our flesh is our vehicle, our car that is driving, that our soul is driving. So it's for us to know our place um, with our flesh. So with receptivity, we're being receptive. We're allowing that information to come in, and then we can do something about it. So 6 to the 7. That's how I keep seeing it. 6 to the 7. First it was 6, and then there were 7. First it was receptivity, and then we manifest. And then comes the mystical nature of manifestation. So there's a lot that we're manifesting in the new earth, in our new consciousness. Those of us that are expanding our minds into the new consciousness, into the true consciousness, right? As we open into the true timeline. And we're allowing ourselves to gather gather this information, gather this energy, and bring it into fruition. And it's something that definitely takes obedience and a be still and let there be. Be still and know that I am in this receptivity. That's what receptivity is asking us to do, to take it in and show that thyself approved. And so this young person that I was sharing this information with, let me go back to that. As I was in the flesh kind of saying, I don't want to be bothered. But Spirit led me forward to speak. And as I spoke, He opened more and more. And I'm not trying to convince nobody of nothing. But I'm just sharing it for those of you who may be in your social interactions coming up across any of this, coming up across any of these people. There's a way to go about it without, we don't have to impose. As I told the young man, God never imposes. So it's not my job to impose. I'm not nobody, but if gives me, if spirit reminds and your soul inclines, then I'll be, obliged to do so. So look out for these signs. Take your time and say what spirit guides you to say, and make sure that there's receptivity. How do you know there's receptivity? Is looking at their character, looking at their responsibility, is what I told him. I even let him know it's your ability to respond. I'm looking at your responsibility to the energy that lets me know it's okay to continue. It's okay to say something to you. It shows me that within your character, you are reciprocating the energy, which means you are being receptive. You are first being receptive and then reciprocating the energy um, back. And it's actually the reciprocity that is highlighting to me um, the receptivity. So, with that, yes, yes, Reiki, God never imposes, right? And as I told him, I was like, I'm like God. I'm in the image and likeness of the divine. So if the divine is not going to pose, then neither am I, right? And this is the step we have to take. I know we might want to save everybody, right? I know a lot of us are like, but I got to tell this and I got to tell that. And you feel like you just want to let it out to everybody, right? And know that all will happen in due time, right? So the reciprocity is when they give back to you. You see this person is being receptive. They're giving back the energy. And then I can respect that. They are respecting. They are re-looking at the energy that you are putting forth. And it is for you to understand, overstand, and understand what that looks like. I can't give it to you it's not so black and white. It's not, if I say, hey, if a person does this, then they're giving back. It may be different for different people, right? So for example, let me give you an example. We're having a conversation. a conversation and someone else walks up and interrupts the energy, right? You have these energetic interruptions. And in the interruption, the person, the youth that I'm talking to, he sees the interruption, right? But he doesn't turn and leave the conversation. The conversation is kind of put on pause because of the interruption. And you know, young people, they'll just get up, they'll walk away, but he stood there. And as the interruption is happening, and I'm paying my attention to that interruption, right? It wasn't bad, it wasn't mean, it was just another conversation that I can clearly see energetically. And every time he shift, I could feel him pull. It feels like a thread um pulling because we were interwoven in our communication, right? So I felt that, oh, I froze. No, if you can see, right? Let me know if I'm still going. So I felt the pull, and I looked at it, and he's saying yes to this energy. We have choice because it was a lesson for me as well. And in the second one, I was led to speaking. The house represents consciousness. So I'm speaking about that, sharing the information and what spirit was just guiding me in that moment. And all I was guided to say was to be still, that we have to be still and be, and in that be still, being receptive. And I'm guiding me. I can't even remember all the words to tell you right now. It was just in that moment. It was a channeling, right? I realized that it was just a true channeling. And as I closed my eyes and I went through it, and when I opened my eyes, his shoes was off. I looked down and his shoes was off. And your feet represent understanding. For those of you who remember in the Bible, when he says, the Moses story, when he says, take off your shoes because you're on holy ground. That's what that part is saying, is when you're around a burning bush, right? So in this example, I would represent the burning bush. The channeling that was happening was the burning bush. Instructions and information. You are on holy ground. You are in a place and in a space of divine intervention, right? And when you are around that, when you realize you are in this divinity, this space of divinity, crown, you remove the covering from the soles of your feet and you stand barefoot. Take off your shoes, take off your covering, for you are on holy ground. And so intuitively, he did this. We spoke about it right after. He didn't even realize what he was doing. Intuitively, he came out of his shoes. So when I opened my eyes and I saw it, it was like, wow. Imagine I was speaking on reciprocity, speaking on the feminine energy. And what does he do? Remove it from his feet, which the feet represent understanding. And understanding also is that feminine energy, right? Of the love frequency. So it is also receptivity, right? If it's feminine energy, it's receptivity. 7-7 up, right? So, oh, I just saw that 7-7. So this reciprocity, he's highlighting to me being receptive, being and it was his left foot. Come to find out, as we talked, he took his left foot out first. The left side of you is feminine energy. The right side is the masculine energy. It is the giving, and the left side is feminine, which is the receiving. So he really was highlighting the receptivity as I was speaking on it, as I was channeling it. He tuned into it, and this is what he did in his response, his ability to respond. That was his reaction. I want to say his response to it. I don't even want to say reaction. And so that stopped me right there in my tracks. And I said, this is the second time that this young person, this young man, has showed reciprocity for this energy through receptivity. That keeps highlighting to me that he is standing here and he's being receptive to all of the energy. So I say that so those of us in 5D, right, pioneering 5D especially, understand that these are the cues that we must look out for. There are certain cues where you understand if people are with you truly or not, because we have a lot of um, those who will come and imitate, who will mimic the frequencies, who will mimic the energy, and they will stand with you. They will repeat things that you say. They listen to how you talk, and they will repeat, they will mimic spirit, right? And nothing wrong with mimicking. It's not like you're scared of mimicking, but it's just that it's not true. And if you want to be able to engage with those who are on the true time reality and those who are being true to the cause with true reciprocity, we have to look out for these cues. And the cues are things like this, what I'm explaining to you that this young man has done. So don't get me wrong. Don't think that just because somebody took off their shoes mean they listening to you. We really have to tune into what's happening, the context of what is happening um, within the communication. And based on the context, you will see, you will know, just as I knew. As I opened my eyes, I knew it, and I said, oh, immediately I took off my shoes. Immediately. Because I was going to do it before. I felt spirit kind of saying, take off your shoes, because it was really a sound reasoning. And I did not. But yet when I opened my eyes and I saw that he did, that means he went before me. Right? So intuitively he did it, and it pinged back to me, yes, take off your shoes right now. I should have done it already. So it let me know that, and it confirmed for me where he was in his reciprocity, and showed me what he is willing to do, which is be receptive, specifically in what he did, removing his shoes, opening his understanding, feminine energy, and listening to the message that was being given about being still and know that I am. And instead of us pimping our feelings when feelings come up, pimping our emotions, our energy in motion, it is for us to be still and know that I am. Know the isness within the I am, and be able to gain instructions and listen rather than tell yourself how you're feeling. A feeling comes up and you want to tell yourself what that feeling is, which is egoic. And we want to put that down. There's a lot of masculine, a lot of ego uppage that is happening. And the receptivity is really being poured in right now. Right? So I had someone ask me, why is there all this masculine? There's a lot of men hanging with men, a lot of masculine on top of masculine energy happening. And very simple. And what I said now, as I explained to him, is there's a lot of feminine energy being poured in. There's a lot of receptivity being poured in. The old energy, the old masculine energy may find that as a threat. The old energy from the patriarchal rule and the misappropriations of the masculine energy that have been doing away with the feminine energy it's no more. So that old energy feels intimidated within the male vessel, so to speak. And so the feminine energy is almost threatening to them, although they know it not. It's the dawning of this receptivity that is breaking through. It's the dawn. It's the um from is it dawn? Dusk till dawn. It's the dawning is when we're rising, I believe. Dawn to yes. So it's the dawn. It's the daybreak. It's the light that is breaking through all of this masculine energy, all of this egoicism. Um, and so a lot of the shadows are scared of that. A lot of the shadows of this masculine energy are in fear, right? In their desperation, they're kind of, what's the word? They're kind of huddling together. They're pulling together. They're huddling together in fear. They don't know they're in fear, but in fear of this receptive energy that is coming to break through and cut through um, all of that misappropriated masculine energy that was creating and recreating in its deficit, in its folly, and so forth. So all of the feminine is pouring in. And so when you see so many men huddling up like that, um they're running from that. And I don't mean this in a way, this has nothing to do really with gender, but everything to do with energy. It's had nothing to do with any of the cross gendering stuff. This is not the topic of that. This is to understand the energy. And however it shows up physically, yes, it may show up in genders as well, physically, but it is really coming from an energetic perspective. Right? So, this planetary alignment, let me bring it all back to that. The theme being receptivity, knowing the cues. This is something I really wanted us to understand as the 5D community. Please watch and pay attention to the cues, because not everybody is meant to be with you, right? Everybody is not meant to do what you do. And how you will know them is how they respond to you through energetic reciprocity, through their receptivity. So let the parade of receptivity run through. Let the planets parade. Let them highlight to you what they're highlighting. These are the 6 planets that are all, there's something that they're highlighting on this side of the sun for us that we are on. And this is Mars, the planet of action and initiation, Venus, um, the feminine, planet that has to do with finances and relationships. Then you have Saturn, the Lord of Karma, that is inside of Pisces, by the way, the house of karma, as well as Neptune. Um, Saturn is the authority. Neptune is like the dreams and aspirations. Like, look at how all of these planets are, working together in this alignment. Uranus being the planet of change, and Uranus rules Aquarius, by the way. So there's this change, that this Oya energy. I call Uranus the Oya planet. That's the Oya energy, lightning bolt, radical changes. Um, and then did I say Mars? Yes, I did. And then the communication is going to come in with Mercury. So if there's any struggle in communicating right now, that's okay. The communication is marching in. It's about to step into the parade. Mercury has to do with communication and travel. So if you've been blocked even in your travel, in your communication, um, it's going to step into the parade right now. It's about the da 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 and come marching in the parade. Um, so look at how this affects all of us as we are transcending, as we are shifting, as we are continuing to enter into this planetary re-evolution, right? The planet is turning over still. We're still entering into 5D. We're being ushered in by the Aquarian age, which is going to be here for 2,000 years. So a lot of us are not even going to see the end of the Aquarian age. We are at the beginning of it. We are pioneering it and bringing it in to fruition. And all of this is cosmically helping us to understand our commitment, to understand our place in this vast universe. It's helping us to move with the energetic essence of the planet, um, cohesively, right? Even if some of us are feeling disturbances and chaos, that's okay. It's to bring the peace, right? It is the chaos that is coming to bring the peace that we need. Some of us have been asking for this. Some of us are seeing, we're looking for the shift. And then there's these chaotic things that sometimes have to happen to bring up what needs to come up to clear things out the way. So it's like it's bringing it up to clear it out the way, bringing it up and clearing it out the way, right? And I saw that perfect example, um as I'm in this family home, as I've been sharing with you all. I'm going through the whole ancestral passage here, opening the way, and I really was petitioning for my ancestors to blow the doors wide open, so to speak, to support where what needs to be done, to remove those who need to be removed expeditiously. Like, let's get this done, because there's work to be done, right? And this little situation was kind of blocking um my next level of work, spiritual work that needs to be done. So I asked for it to be speeded up. And kid you not, after that, there was a disturbance. There was a disagreement. even to the point of a physical altercation, not with me, but within the family. And it ricocheted back to me, um, in terms of the disrespect, right? So I was just looking at it today, and I'm looking at how there's a clearing. I don't know how many of you are seeing this now, but within the house, within the home, I'm seeing a clearing. And it dawned on me that chaos had to happen. And we know this. Some of us know this. Some of us know when certain things happen, it is to open the doors and open the ways for what is new and true to come through. And it dawned on me, it really hit my realization. I realized with my real eye what needed to be recognized. And it was to see that this little chaos, this little hiccup, whatever it is, it had to happen to clear the way. It was like Spirit was saying, hey, didn't you say you wanted it expedited? Well, here you go. Here's that. And then when that came, here it is right after that, everything just, it's like it dispersed. And those who needed to be moved were moved. But here's the thing, what I want to say to you all too. When you do certain clearings and you clear space energetically in whatever way, be prepared for that opposition energy, that dark light, that database, whatever it is that you call it, it will come back. Don't think you've done anything wrong. Don't think you messed up. You cleared the space. But what happens is when you clear the space, and it feels light and free again, be prepared for the demons to come in. It's like, and when I say demons, y'all know what I mean. Unhealed wounds, those people that walk with their unhealed wounds, those energies that want to pretend that they're with you, but they're not, things like that. They will come around. And that's why I was talking about the cues. We have to know those cues so we know what to do and what not to do. This is a part of the practice of soul sovereignty that we just gained from our North Node in Aries, and compassion for the collective. Compassion for the collective, from the collective that allowed us to be in our soul sovereignty. And that passion of the collective is understanding where they're coming from. So you don't have to get bent out of shape. It's understanding that, oh, this is what had to happen. So you don't have to defend anything. You don't have to prove anything. You just know that this is what is. And so I say that so we just understand that those people will come up, but your compassion will say, hey, this is no threat to me. This is here nor there. Let that go. Let it be what it is. This is true liberation. What I'm saying to you, which was another lesson that came out what we were talking about. True liberation, when everyone is liberated, no one will feel the need to attack another or defend in the form of an attack. Because true liberation means you're in your abundance. And so you're not in a place of lack and limitation, right? And this is what came from just watching the dog today being tied up. As we were all talking, we were talking about the dog that's tied up, and how the other day when he was on the loose is a kind of an aggressive dog. When he was loose, he was just roaming around free around the house. He kept walking around the house and there was no threat, right? And even though we're used to him being on a chain, it's like when he's loose, when he got loose, it's like, oh snap, he loose, what he gonna do? But when you're in your meditative state and you're minding your soul's business and you are free and liberated, you're in your soul's sovereignty. None of these aggressive thoughts, because that's what dogs represent too in your dreams, aggressive thoughts. None of these aggressive thoughts are going to attack you. You're not going to, and the dog was afraid within his own mind. He's afraid. It's like he froze when he saw us because he's like, oh, are they going to put me back on the chain? So when you see there's the look, the eye contact, and you are in your spirit, you are in your liberation. and the dog is free, he's like, I'm off the chain. I'm good. Right? I get it. Get it? I'm off the chain. I'm good. So when everyone is off the chain, out of slavery, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. When you're off the chain, you are truly liberated. When you are truly off the chain, you are truly in your soul sovereignty. And when everyone, just think about it. I want to say, this is what I'm saying to you is a picture of 5D in the love frequency. If you don't know what it looked like, this is an image of what it looks like. If everyone, and some may say this is a utopia, and if that's the case, then yes, it is. This is a utopian lifestyle. When everyone is free, right? They have some place to be, like, and that some place is in their divinity. When everyone is free, they have no threat, no feelings of lack and limitation because you are free and in your liberation. And if you're truly liberated, no one feels the need to attack another, right? Again, bringing me back to receptivity. When we are receptive, we are in humility and we humble ourselves to the pathways of our divinity. We humble ourselves to open our consciousness to being free. Ashe, it's the place to be. Hey, Tyrone, peace, love, and light. Beautiful art and nice energy, right? Thank you. The energy is always nice and beautiful and true. I can't wait to get back to. I love these lives. I do. I do. I love that we could communicate, but I can't wait to just get back to the video and posting the video at the same time. Um, but the lives are beautiful. Maybe this is a reason why it happened this way, because I've been doing more like all of the lives and I've been communicating with you all, and it's been beautiful. And I thank you all for sharing your love and light. And for those who like, subscribe, share, comment if you dare, and donate, because we help the algorithms to grow. We help to stretch the bandwidth of this frequency that we're on and sharing this information so that others can get it and know what we do in 5D, like what's happening in 5D, and how are we to operate with each other, and how are we going to operate with the 3D, because we're not leaving 3D, we're expanding 3D. This is an expansion, a consciousness expansion. And so it all starts with self, and we got to be doing our soul work. We got to be receptive. Being receptive, true reciprocity. Ooh, I'm seeing a 6 and a 9. Ashe. Infinite numbers every time. As I was saying receptivity, I saw the 6, and the 9 is the spiritual completion. So, and that reminds me, for those who are working in this energy, if you're doing anything, please take account of the number 9, the infinite number of 9. Utilize that number 9 in things that you're doing. Um, 9 days, 9 weeks, 9 hours, 9 minutes. Utilize it in whatever way it is to bring about the spiritual completion, which comes after 6. The three major dimensional portals is 3, 6, 9. 3 being creative completion, 6 being receptive completion, 9 being the spiritual, right? So this is a time, this is all, and some of you know about the 369. There's so much. Like I said, I know I'm giving so much because, like I said in the beginning, there is so much. There's so much information. It's all in the atmosphere. Take a step out there, breathe it in. Take a step in 5D and just say, yes, I'm here. I have shifted. I have quantum leaped. And take a deep breath and breathe that in and continue to do that work. For those of you who may be wondering how do I shift? How do I quantum leap? The answer is simply be receptive. The answer is simply do your soul work. The more you do your soul work, the more you unlock your soul codes. Take a workshop when you get a chance. When you hear the workshops, this is the workshop that I work on and do. It's to open and unlock your soul code. So do your soul work, your shadow work, your excavating your soul, all of that. Because when you do that, you you unlock and you see, you're able to read your spiritual blueprint, which is your God encryption, which is your DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, right? And this is the God, Lord, fire in the center of my being. This is your next level. This is how you activate your God encryption within you. And when your DNA, when you unlock and you have a DNA activation, you activate the codes, your light codes that are in your blood, that are flowing through your life force energy. And you activate that so that you can know how to take the next step, right? And so the more you do that, you also ascend in your soul. You have a soul ascension. You elevate, you evolve, elevate, ascend. Evolve, elevate, ascend. And so once you unlock that, that's how you open the next door and the next corridor of your soul. This is how you push the timelines, right, of your dimensional soul self into the next level, and move into the next level until we are all transitioning without having to die. Do you all realize that? This is one of the first times in our lifetimes of earth experience that a lot of us are transitioning without having to physically die, because we're shifting timelines, we're quantum leaping. We're pushing time. I told you we're time pushers. We're time keepers and we're time pushers. And we're pushing the time. We're pushing the dimensional lines. Every time you push the dimensional line, you push the time. You expand the time, which means you expand your consciousness because you are time. Right? Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. So this is how I say all that to say this is how you expand to the next level. For those of you who are like, how do I quantum leap? How do I push? How do I it's not, you don't got to pay to go do this anywhere. You don't, it's not rocket science. It's really just tapping into your soul and doing your soul work. It's being a willing and ready vessel to do the soul work. My life path is a 9. Oop, yep, number 9. Mine too. Mine's is a 9. I'm a 9. Um, I think it says I meditate at 9:09 a.m. p.m. 99 equals 18. Yep, and that equals 9. All numbers. For those of you who don't know the magical numbers of 9, get out your calculators and check it out. Any number multiplied by 9 is 9. Think about it. Right? And I don't mean literally the number 9, but just as Tamat showed just now, if I said, forgive me if I mispronounced the name, but just as you showed now, every number that you multiply by 9 is going to equal 9, just as you see 9 and 9 equals 18. 9 times 2 is 18. You could put in any number, make up some numbers, throw it in the calculator. Put 9 times and just throw some digits in there. Boop, 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 and press the equal button. And when you look at the answer, add up every digit in that answer and you will get 9. I can't make that ish up. It's the infinite, it's the powerful infinite number of 9, right? And 9 just keeps going because every time you get to 9, it's a completion and you cycle up and you go to the next level. You go on the spiral and you cycle up and you go to the next cycle, right? Take 9 breaths in and draw in from source. Yeah, okay, I'm going to do that one. I haven't done the 9 breaths. So thank you for sharing that. I usually do the 4-4-4 count, or for a deep one, a deep breathing, I do breathe in for 6, hold for 2, exhale for 8. A deep exhale. So I'm going to do that one. Take 9 deep breaths and drawing in from source on the 9 deep breaths. Um, Let me see what else said. You good, big. Yep, 9-year. Yes, even in the fake 12 system, we sink in truth. Exactly. I'm glad you see that. We are here. Even in that, they're 12 their fake little system of 12, it's always 9. But get this, the 12 is only an expansion of the 9. The 12 is the cyclical completion that includes the 9 plus 3. The 9 plus another 3, the 3 being another creative completion that is like, it's like a threshold. That other 3 is a transitional space and threshold that when you have that, it's the respiriting of 3, and after that you begin again, right? So that 12 is another, that 12, they do have a fake system, but the divine 12 is still a part. The 9 is a part of that 12. The 9 is the completing of the spiritual work. And then you have an extension or the threshold of 3 that brings you to a cyclical completion of 12, right? 12 disciples, 12 months, which is really 12 signs, 12 houses in our cosmic system, right? So there's an importance to that 12 too, but it's really the 9. There are 9 dimensions and then you go again, right? So it's beautiful. 9 and 1 is not. Yep, yep. I also started adding up all the nines in the 24-hour. Oh, you are really working with the numbers. You really got to come in. Well, you ain't got, I don't like to tell people what they got to do, but when I do the calendar workshop, it will be nice if you were in the calendar workshop because it has a lot to do with the numbers. And you got to get the calendar so you can work it with you, the 5D calendar, and work the numbers, because there are so many numbers that it's a lot of numbering that goes on. And you'll see, even as I created that calendar, it had a lot to do with the cycle of 9 and understanding what was being shown through this 9, right? So yes, please do come. When you hear about it, get the calendar. If you don't already have the calendar, order the calendar so I can go ahead and add you to that. Like, whether you have the calendar or not, all are welcome, but you will be able to have something physical if you have the calendar, and it does involve the numbers, right? So that's that on receptivity. Um, I don't want to keep going because I can. There's so much information that I'll just keep going. So I'm going to stick a pin right here on receptivity. I want us to marinate that. Think about the avenue of receptivity. Think about the cues that we're getting from others, the cues of the hues of man, and how we are to be interacting. Think about this planetary alignment, the 6 into the 7, and what that means for you. Check out your natal chart and see what that means for you with the planetary alignment, and what it shares for you, right? Give, receive gratitude. Thank you, Ashe, Ashe. Reiki said, this is blowing my mind. Welcome. It blew my mind too when I did those numbers. I was like, what? I got the calculator. It was like, no matter what you do, it is going to equal 9. And when you see that, you see the power of the infinite number of 9. It is so divine, and it is all in time, right? Ashe, ashe, ashe. And so there's so much we could do with these numbers. So thank you. And 6, don't forget the 6. 666, the 666, right?
216.
26, that's 216.
That's a 9.
It's a 9. 666 multiplied. Multiply 666 is 2. Oh, 6 times 6 times 6 is 216, and 2, 1, and 6 is a 9. Put that on the calculator. See, this we could keep going. This will be a whole workshop. We got to have like a numerology workshop, expanding on that. We're welcome. We are welcome. Thank you for sharing the information and doing the best we can in 5D. Continue to pioneer. Remember these things. Do your work. Do not impose on others. Be gentle, be kind. Stand true in your soul sovereignty as we enter into the next nodes. We're in the spiritual house of Pisces. So now it's going to be an explosion of spirituality. The next 18 months, we're going to be called into bringing all of our soul sovereignty into spirituality with responsibility in a responsible way. All right. So I share that with you all. Get outside, look up at the stars if you can. Check out the planetary alignment. It's beautiful. It's from the 21st, I believe, up until the 25th. You'll be able to see them. But I believe it's going to be parading for the next month or two. Check into it, look into it, and see. We should be seeing this parade of planets for the next month or two. So there's something definitely shifting and aligning. So in the alignment, get on your assignment. That's all I got to say. We got work to do. Light bodies, light warriors, 5D pioneers. Ashe, Ashe, and it's 11:33. As I say this right now, master number 11, master number 33. So we're going to close out with that. That's my master number right there. Right? Master enlightenment and master what's the 3 again? Completion. Creative completion. So, love you all. Thank you for sharing this space. Remember, those who know, those who grow, show. So continue to grow and it will show. You don't have to push anything. It's all in you. All right. What does it say? Expansion. Yes, expansion 999. And she opened portals through the spiral in the 9. Yep, in our hands. We are 9. Yes, opening portals through the 9. That's what happens. And we're 9 ether beings. So get into the 9. We in a universal year. They are, according to the Gregorian calendar. Those of us in 5D, we've been in a universal year. 2016, baby, according to the Ethiopian calendar. But, that's another story. So thank you for coming in, for coming through, for bringing your light, your energy, and for us sharing this vibration, this frequency. Raise your vibrations. So, with that, each one, reach one, teach one. If you don't know where to start in your big, beautiful heart. Shine your light from the inside out and be the candle that lights the next one, and the next one, and the next one. Till we meet again. Peace, love, and light. Infinite 9 God bodies. Ashe.
Ashe.